Imagine spending over $50,000 on a brand new truck, only to have its roof dent in a car wash. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's just one of the shocking problems plaguing the latest GMC Canyon. And trust me, you need to hear all of them before you even think about signing that deal. Because some of these issues don't just cost you time, they could destroy your truck's resale value completely. Stick with me until the end, because the last problem on this list will blow your mind. And hey, before we dive in, if you love trucks but hate wasting money, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss the truth about today's pickups. 1. Excessive oil consumption. First up, oil consumption. If you think a brand new truck should barely use oil between services, think again. Some GMC Canyon owners report that their trucks burn through oil like a high-performance sports car. About 2 quarts every 3,000 miles. 2 quarts. For a mid-sized truck, that's insane. Now, here's the kicker. GMC says this is perfectly normal. Yes, normal. So who's right? GMC or the owners? The truth is somewhere in the middle. GM uses low-tension piston rings to squeeze out just a little more horsepower and improve fuel efficiency. But the trade-off? Those rings don't seal as tightly, which means oil slips past and gets burned in the combustion process. Here's what you need to watch for. If your truck's oil consumption stays the same, say 2 quarts every 3,000 miles, it's likely just poor sealing from those piston rings. Annoying but somewhat manageable. But if the oil consumption starts increasing over time, that's a massive red flag for cylinder wear or even a faulty crankcase ventilation system sucking too much oil vapor. And trust me, when that happens, you're staring at expensive repairs. Now, in fairness, not every Canyon suffers from this. Some owners say they've never topped off oil between services, but there's zero guarantee yours won't start burning oil after a couple of years. Would you accept 2 quarts every 3,000 miles? Let me know in the comments. 2. Software nightmares. Next up, let's talk about software because this one is wild. GMC actually had to stop selling the Canyon for weeks just to fix software problems. Think about that. You're rolling out a brand new model, and you have to pull it off the market because the computers inside can't behave. What kind of issues are we talking about? Everything from flickering headlights to infotainment screens going black mid-drive. And here's the part that'll make you shake your head. GM once claimed flickering headlights couldn't be caused by software. Guess what? It was a software glitch in the headlight on-off switch the whole time. And it's not just headlights. Owners have reported blacked-out infotainment systems, frozen screens, and get this, instrument clusters shutting off completely while driving. Imagine cruising at 70 on the freeway and suddenly having no speedometer, no fuel gauge, nothing. And before you think, well, they must have fixed it by now. Here's the bad news. Even after GMC rolls out updates, many of these issues come back. Some people have been back to the dealer multiple times, only to be told, we're waiting on another update. So if you're planning to buy a new Canyon, ask yourself, do you want to beta test software for GMC? 3. Electrical failures. Now let's talk electrical problems because this one hits a lot of owners. Batteries in new vehicles should last at least 4 years. That's the industry standard. But in the GMC Canyon, many owners report their batteries dying in under 2 years. Here's what happens. Your truck sits for a few days, and when you come back, dead battery. Why? Because these trucks constantly ping their electronic control modules, even when parked, for software checks and over-the-air updates. And those pings drain your battery slowly, like a smartphone with a million background apps running. And here's something you may not know. A lot of modern programming updates require a stable power supply. So when the dealer updates your truck, they often hook up an external power source just to keep the battery alive during programming. If your battery isn't getting those perfect conditions at home, dead in no time. The first warning signs? Slower cranking, dim headlights at idle, and wipers that barely move when the engine's off. And when you take it to the dealer, they'll often say it's a parasitic drain, which technically isn't wrong. But the root cause is this never-ending software chatter. So if you plan to let your Canyon sit for a week or 2 at a time, be ready to either jumpstart it or buy a trickle charger. 4. Roof denting in car washes. Now, this next one blew my mind. Imagine pulling your brand new $50,000 truck into a touchless car wash. No brushes, just water. And coming out with dents in your roof. Sounds like an internet rumor, right? Nope, it's real. Owners have reported serious dents in their Canyon roofs after using touchless car washes. And here's what GMC says. The issue isn't structural weakness, it's the water pressure. Really? If a truck can't handle water pressure without the roof collapsing, what does that say about build quality? And it gets worse, because these dents are nearly impossible to fix perfectly. Even if you try, it's going to affect resale value. GMC claims they're working on a fix for new builds, possibly injecting foam into the roof cavity for extra strength. But if you already bought a Canyon, good luck. For now, your best bet is to avoid touchless washes entirely, which is insane in 2025. 5. Questionable value for money. And now, let's talk about money, because this one might be the biggest problem of all. The base GMC Canyon starts at $39,095. That's already more expensive than a Ford Ranger, a Toyota Tacoma, and even some Silverado models. Want the Denali trim? You're looking at over $53,000. And if you want the off-road AT4X AEV edition, try $63,000 plus. So what are you getting for that premium price? A mid-sized truck with oil consumption issues, software glitches, electrical headaches, and a roof that can't survive a car wash. Does that sound like good value to you? Especially when the Canyon shares most of its hardware with the cheaper Chevrolet Colorado. Don't get me wrong, the Canyon has a nice interior, good towing numbers, and it looks fantastic on paper. But when you compare reliability and long-term ownership costs, this truck raises serious questions. So what do you think? Is GMC cutting corners, or are these just growing pains for a modern truck? Let me know in the comments. I read every single one. And if this video saved you from making a $50,000 mistake, hit that like button and subscribe for more real truck talk the dealers don't want you to hear. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.